want to knit the open work mullions stitch, English style.
For this tutorial, you will need a pair of knitting needles and a ball of yarn. Special thanks to our sponsor Webs for providing today's yarn. Today we are using their Northampton yarn from their Valley Yarns line in the color Light Green Heather.
For this stitch, you'll need to know the following techniques: knit, purl, slip stitch. To begin this stitch, you'll need to cast on in multiples of 6 plus 2. Row 1. Beginning on the right side, knit 1. Then begin your repeat by bringing your yarn to the front and slip 3 stitches purlwise. Then knit 3, so the yarn's actually going to come right across the front of the work. Repeat this to the last stitch on your row. When you've reached the last stitch on your row, knit 1. Row 2. Purl all stitches. Row 3. We're going to repeat row 1. So begin by knitting 1, and then begin your repeat by bringing the yarn to the front, slipping 3 stitches, then knitting 3 stitches. And you'll repeat this until you have 1 stitch left on your row. When you've reached the last stitch on your row, knit 1. Row 4. We're going to purl all stitches. Row 5. We're going to repeat row 1 one more time. So we'll begin by knitting 1, bring the yarn to the front, and slip 3 purlwise. Then we'll knit 3. And we'll repeat this to the last stitch on the row. Once you've reached the last stitch on the row, you'll knit 1. Row 6. Purl all stitches. Row 7. For this row we actually get to switch things up a little bit so we can offset our little slip stitch sections that we've been doing. So we'll begin by knitting 1, then begin our repeat by knitting 3, then bringing the yarn to the front and slipping 3 stitches purlwise. And you'll repeat this until you've reached the last stitch on your row. When you've reached the last stitch on your row, knit 1. Row 8. Purl all stitches. Row 9. We're going to repeat row 7. So we'll begin by knitting 1, and then we'll begin our repeat by knitting 3, bring the yarn to the front, slip 3 purlwise. And you'll repeat this until you've reached the last stitch on your row. When you've reached the last stitch on your row, knit 1. Row 10. Purl all stitches. Row 11. We're going to repeat row 7 one more time. Begin by knitting 1, then begin your repeat by knitting 3. Bring your yarn to the front, slip 3 stitches purlwise, and then repeat this until the last stitch on your row. When you've reached the last stitch on your row, knit 1. Row 12. Purl all stitches. Repeat rows 1 through 12 until you've reached your desired length. And that's how you knit the open work mullion stitch.
After a few repeats, your pattern should look like this. Want more New Stitch a Day? Join our VIP email list to get every stitch directly to your inbox. Sign up today at newstitchaday.com/VIP.